Good morning, good evening. My name is Carlos Javier Mejia. I'm Nicaraguan, born in Nicaragua. I lived in Nicaragua the last, 1996 through 2023. Myself, forced into exile, confiscated. First, my father was confiscated in 1980 by the Nicaraguan regime, communist regime. And so that you know that I have an understanding of what has been going on in relationship with Iran. The Iranian regime has been in partnership with the Nicaraguan government, with the Cubans, with the Venezuelans since the times of Hugo Chavez. And remember that the Iranian regime has been in power for the last 47 years, meaning that they have a lot of access to oil money, the money produced by their oil exports to the different countries throughout the last 40 plus years. Thus, they have had the economic capacity to buy technology from developed countries, which is why they have developed all these missiles, hypersonic missiles that have the capacity to reach 2,500 miles at hypersonic speed. They have developed all these drones that have been used to attack also military bases in the Middle East, U.S. military bases. They have been attacking Israel, but attacking the surrounding countries of Iran in the Middle East. We now cannot be doubting about the military capacities of Iran. Former administrations in the U.S. Always talked about stopping Iran, that they were not going to let them become a military power, and we're not going to let them get away with that we're going to stop them. But they didn't do anything. They talked, they expressed their wishes, but did nothing, because they didn't want to sacrifice their popularity. They didn't want to sacrifice elections. They didn't want to sacrifice anything. They were there just to be influential, to be popular, have the cameras, give beautiful, politically correct speeches about peace, love, but nothing about solving the problem with Iran. It's like they knew about the cancer that was growing, metastasizing, and causing damage already, because they have been financing Iran. The Iranian regime has been financing Nicaragua, has been financing Cuba, and they were in partnership with Venezuelan regime, with Chavez and then Maduro, and together, somehow, I assure you that they have developed top technology, because they were preparing themselves for the eventual Armageddon attack, right? They were going to unleash all their power against their number one enemy, which is the United States of America. That is Iran's, not the people of Iran. The Iranian regime's number one enemy is the big Satan, which is how they described the United States of America. And throughout all these years, they have brought young Iranians to Venezuela, Cuba, Nicaragua, which they have used as springboard countries to further train their jihadist military men, young people that learned Spanish fluently with a particular accent of Nicaragua, Venezuela, Cuba, so they could empower them and send them to the U.S. They have used a lot of the cash money coming from Iran that has circulated in shell companies in our countries, in Nicaragua, for a long time, many years. and also in Venezuela. Through the local banking systems of Nicaragua, this money has been able to circulate to the American banks. So that money has been here for many decades already. But they were also bringing all those Iranians, jihadist Iranians, right, into the U.S. Into the U.S. Why? Because they were creating the sleeper cells that they were positioning in very strategic points in the United States of America, so that at the time when they decided to attack the U.S., attack Israel, and then they would have their sleeper cells in the U.S. to also attack from within, not just from Iran, but they were also looking for places like Nicaragua, Venezuela, Cuba, so that it could be close to the United States of America. Meaning that the war against the Iranian regime is justifiable. It was about it. This is not whether they were going to attack or not. It was just a matter of when they decided that it was their best opportunity to attack the United States of America, attack Israel, and whatever other country was in partnership with the U.S. and Israel. So we cannot be naive, we cannot be ignorant of the threats that the Iranian regime represents for the United States of America. We cannot be naive about thinking, oh, let's only be nice to them with that political correctness ideology, which is an ideology. And as you know, Iranians partnership with communists. Why? Because for them, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, is my partner, is my brother. So they will use communists. And that's why they have also partnership with drug cartels, with MS-13s. They have financed terrorism all over the world. They have financed Hezbollah, they have financed Hamas, they have financed any terrorist organization that will contribute with their agenda, the Iranian regime agenda. So what do we do then? Many people are opposing President Donald Trump because they don't have the understanding. In fact, the Iranian regime, what do you think this mayor of New York did? He partnership with socialists, with communists, with left-wing people, and with LGBTQ people. All the LGBTQ people, that are transgender, that are lesbians and gays, they utilize them. They use them, to fight their battles, to vote for them, to get them into political offices like the one in New York, like they have done in England, like they have done in France, like they have done in many countries in Europe that have been invaded by Islamists that do intend to destroy Europe, and they were destroying Europe already. So are we going to to continue being naive? No, we cannot continue to be naive or ignorant and pay the price for not knowing everything that has been transpiring for the last 40 plus years. We need to fight that regime. And yes, we need to pray. We need to fast. The church needs to rise up. We need to fast, pray, bow down before the Lord, so that the President of the United States of America will be guided by the Holy Spirit and not by any other agenda, so that he will be aligned to the will of God. And we need to be praying. This has to be our duty. Our duty to God, our duty to country, our duty to freedom, our duty to true democracy, our duty to freedom of expression, our freedom of free religion, that we can practice Christianity, that we can continue to attend church without persecution. The enemy, Satan, is behind all these countries, and I assure you that all those big countries, economic powers, are behind them as well. China and other countries, all right? So